Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live on YouTube at TradeEZ or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Kalajian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Wow, one hell of a day here. I am completely exhausted. We had some stocks here that just got absolutely got kabooshed in the last hour of the day, and that is PLTR and SMCI. You know, for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying that PLTR, when it was pushing up above the 123, 124, 125, and I actually said to a lot of people in my community, if PLTR gets to this 125, 127 level today, I would just be looking for shorts. And today the high was 125.41. And the news came out that the CEO is going to sell a very large amount of shares, and maybe also defense contracts would be cut on behalf. And PLTR got absolutely kabooshed, traded from 125.41 down to 108 and change. Now, the key here was not just the news and everything about, yes, that was a catalyst to it. But if you look at the chart on PLTR, on the daily chart, right, it was like $24 from the 10-bar weighted moving average. And I'll show it to you. Also, SMCI, I think probably like 8 or 9 shorts today, maybe one long on it. And I had an offer today to look to short 66.70. The high was 66.40, and I'll show you this pattern. And SMCI got absolutely kabooshed. It dropped $11 from 3 o'clock all the way down to 3:30. It dropped like that. I'm telling you, it was a wild day. Gold was up strong. This gold just seems like it just doesn't want to break, but it will. Just like nobody believed that PLTR would drop or SMCI would drop. Now, when SMCI was trading at 66.40, it was $25 or $27 from the 10-bar weighted moving average on the daily, and I'll show you that. So it was a wild day. Again, Coinbase acted like death. Meta was down over 14. Remember, at the end of the day, Meta yesterday traded all the way up to 716, and then it got absolutely kabooshed. And I got some great stories to tell you in the third segment today. But I want to just share with you why I'm looking at and how I look at these patterns here. If you bring up Palantir here and on the daily, when you see a pattern like this here, okay, and you're pushing up, and at this point, from the price to the 10-bar moving average, we were north of 22, 23, 24. All right. And this was this is astronomical. And if you look at one point today, SMCI, when SMCI was trading, right, was still 20 away. Can you look at this? SMCI was trading 66.40. So this number here became 26 and change, right? I said, where's this thing going? Just forget it. And then it dropped. It still got room to go down. Now, what I'm saying here on SMCI, I'm looking for a pullback here and then another rally here. This is really not in the. And then at the end of the day, we were looking to short this around 61, and it's down here now again, getting hit here. One of the things that it's really important using technical analysis is my 10-bar weighted moving average, right? Now, I studied this for years. I was looking for different averages, and then I came across this 10-bar weighted moving average, and it goes back to the inception. And it just, when I started building my software and everything, I started to realize how the price action likes to come close to that 10-bar weighted moving average. So normally, I look at prices when you have these big aberrations or when we're trading during the day and the S&Ps are dropping or they're rallying and they're X amount of points from the 10-bar weighted moving average. So this gives me the ability to really see the distance, and I can take ideas from my 10-bar from the price to the indicator number 3, the overbought oversold oscillator I have. And I'm looking at gold, and you can see how gold here, if I show this to you right now on gold, you can see how the 10-bar weighted moving average just hovers. So, and I use this a lot of times, the 10-bar, well, I use it practically all the time for entries and exits. So in this strategy right here on gold, you can see that the 15-minute time frame right here, the 15-minute time frame on gold. Let me just go back here like this. Get back here. Boom. I got the buy reversal on gold on the 15-minute right here, and they correlated. You see the positive MACD, no real big selling pressure. Right here, you can see the 15 correlating. So I used the 10-bar moving average where I would get my ranges, where I would be looking to get longs here. Set up my longs. Getting oversold into the positive MACD here, and then boom, look what gold did here. That's the daily. All right, but let's look at the 5-minute time frame, right? You can see on the 5-minute, even better, you can see now that the 15 correlated right here. All right, and you can see this is the first pullback right here on gold. But you can see how the 10-bar, the price hovers near this 10-bar weighted moving average. So again, I use the 10-bar weighted moving average in the whole process of my 4 indicators. Indicators 1, 2, 3, 4. 85% of the time I use indicators 1, 3, and 4, and 15% of the time I use indicators 1, 2, 3, 4. So we saw a mixed day here. S&P's up 7, NASDAQ down 14. We saw, again, the excitement for the last hour was PLTR and SMCI. And I think these stocks are great trading stocks, significant amount of volume in them. I like stocks that trade, have a lot of volume. Microsoft, I'm going to show you really great patterns of Microsoft. This is really unbelievable in Microsoft here. This was probably the best stock on the day as far as in the Dow. If you look here, the first thing we do, we see that Microsoft is still bullish on the, coming into today, is still bullish on the 15-minute time frame. And then when the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy right here, what do you look to do? You look to buy the first pullback. Look at this. ADX is rising on the 15. ADX is rising on the 30, right? You can see the yellow dots, which is the price action within the algorithm. You can see the algorithm reversing to buy. Look at this beautiful. This is a Picasso, right? And then you got the oversold condition into the positive MACD, rising ADX, oversold into the rising ADX on the 30-minute. And look at this. Microsoft never looked back. Boom. If you look here again, the 60-minute time frame reversed to buy at 230. All right. So tomorrow we'll look for a pullback on Microsoft on the 15 and or 30-minute time frame for long entries. Again, phenomenal patterns. And I love when the MACDs are crossing up from below the pivot line, especially on the bigger time frames like the 30 and the 60-minute. So basically, the lows that we saw on Microsoft a couple of days ago, now it looks like we're going to be buying pullbacks, and Microsoft's probably headed to the 418, 419 range. All right. PLTR is trading lower in after hours. So is SMCI, down 2 from where we were looking to short it. This stock, I said the first target was 108. I think the low was 108.61. The second target, my second target, was 102. So many people were long PLTR. For the last 2 weeks, I was telling people above the 120, 123, 125, I'd be looking to sell it. And I have a great story to tell you later on in this third segment of the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. But again, everything I do is all based upon pure technical analysis. And the most important thing is to be consistent each and every day in trading, right? And that's why I have my 5 keywords, right? Consistency, discipline, confidence, patience, and passion. So it's very, very important. And, overall, what else we looked at here? We saw some Meta. Meta, we caught a really, really great long in Meta off the lows, and Meta ran about 10 points at one point today. MSTR, look at this MSTR. So MSTR, let me just go off the camera here. Let me just type this in, MSTR. MSTR here. Oh, let me just get to the right symbol. MSTR, technology here. All right. So if you look at the bigger time frames, MSTR reversed to sell here. Okay, on the 60-minute time frame, you can see these negative MACDs here. Let's look at the 30-minute. The 30 reversed to sell. Now, this was the push up yesterday into the negative MACDs, but coming into the day, MSTR was negative all day on the 30-minute time frame. And then when you see the 15-minute time frame reverse to sell, that correlated right here with the 30-minute, you can see that we tried to get bounces, negative MACDs, rising ADXs, MSTR from the time the stock opened and then really didn't act right. And then around 1:15, we got the sell, which correlated with the 30-minute time frame. And then what do? We use the smaller time frames, the 5-minute time frames on every bounce to look to get short. Great pattern on the NASDAQ futures today. I want to show you. I'm going to look at the Qs here. Okay. Looking at the Qs on the 5 and 15. When the Qs reversed here, so the Qs reversed to buy yesterday on the 19th, and you can see the pattern. The 15 correlated with the 30 and the 60-minute, and you use the smaller time frames for entries and exits. And you can see this beautiful pattern here. All these small little time frames getting oversold on the 5-minute. Now, this was at the end of the day when you got this deep oversold condition on the 15, and then the Qs just ricocheted right back up. So basically, the trend is still in place here for tomorrow on the 15 to 30 and the 60-minute time frame. What's really important is that we've been in this now move since, I believe, the 11th or the 12th of February. My target on the S&P futures are between 61.80 and 62.10, 62.15. If we get up there, I am looking for a top and then a short-term top, and then I'm looking for a pullback, either the 59.80 or 60.10 on the S&P. That pullback is going to make a higher low, and we're going to do this, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way to 6,500. And I think that's going to take a few more months before that unfolds. But we got to get to 61.80 first, 62.10, 62.20, and then I say let them have them. And then I would probably go net short. I'd be looking to buy like the SQQQs. I'd be looking to buy the SDSs, or start exiting stocks, or be looking to sell calls against your stock position. All right. So with that, it was a pretty wild day. Microsoft, very, very bullish today. PLTR, absolutely kabooshed. All right. SMCI, the guy who bought SMCI at 66.40 and PLTR at 125.41, he jumped. All right. Or whoever bought it up there. Okay. So this is about just being as accurate as we can each and every day here. With my 41 plus years in the industry, I've worked on 4 exchanges, traded almost nearly 2 billion shares in my life. I love it. Every single day I come in here. I just love working with people. If anybody wants to reach out to me, my phone number is 914-500-7484. I return every text. I love talking to people. And for me, there's no greater joy than to come in here every single day. I just look at my economic calendar. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we have leading indicators. And then I think there's a 10 o'clock number on Friday, a consumer confidence number. But all the big numbers were last week: CPI, PPI, and retail sales. So, and we only have 8 big numbers out of 22 in a month for an 8:30 number. And there's really nothing here for tomorrow and Friday. So a light next couple of days for the 8:30 numbers, but the market is holding tough here. All right. And I still think we get this push up, another 50 to 70 handles on the S&P. And then I think that's it. I think you fade them. and I think you look for a nice pullback and to get the dailies deeply oversold, and then to be able to get into another move upward that should take us probably to maybe 62.50, 62.70, pull in again to 61.50, 60.50, keep making higher lows all the way to 6,500. I think that's going to be the plan. All right. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for and what I expect to see tomorrow. Right back. So for tomorrow, I still think the markets are very, very complacent. And I still think that looking at the bigger time frames, like the 60-minute time frames, let me show you here. I'm going to bring up the 60-minute time frame on the Qs. Right now we're trading 539. And in order for the Qs to get any type of a sell reversal, we would need the 534.62 on my indicator 4 to get a sell reversal. I don't see that happening tomorrow, and I don't see this happening. You can see the yellow dots here on the spiders. They're into the cayenne. Here's another number, 608.21 right here. That means the S&P futures have to drop 40 handles. That means they have to drop down to like 61.10, 61.15 in order to get a sell reversal. I don't see that with no big economic numbers coming out tomorrow. So that leads me to believe we're going right back up. And again, I'm hoping in the next 2 to 3 days we get to this push up, and I'm looking for a caboose. All right. Then tomorrow I'll be looking for pullbacks on Microsoft on the 15 and the 30-minute time frames. I would be looking to short Apple. I have nothing but sell divergences on the 30 and 60-minute time frames. So if Apple gets any push up above the 245, 246, the higher it goes, the better. I would look to short Apple because I think those sell divergences on the 30 and 60-minute time frames are something to speak about. What else here? Bitcoin's really not acting that right. So as the market goes, I think Bitcoin's going to go, right? So as the market goes up, I think Bitcoin's going to try to test that 99, 100,000 one more time. And then I think when the market does drop, I think Bitcoin could test the 90, 80, maybe 88,000, 90,000 range again, maybe 87,000, 89,000 range. But either way, it's going to make a higher low. It's just going to mirror the S&Ps and the overall market. I think Meta is in trouble. Meta has pulled in. I'm looking for Meta to probably bottom out around the 680 level. It's not there. We got down to 596, 696 today and change. I caught a really great long pattern. I blinked, and 40 minutes later was trading 699 and then 701. And then ultimately trade up to 705 and a half, maybe 706, I believe. So low under 705, maybe 705.80. Overall, Lily caught some great patterns in Lily today, and I expect Lily to be very strong. I think Lily is very close to, if we get a decent pullback in Lily between the 535 and the 555 range in Lily. I got to watch this a little bit more closely on the daily charts. I think Lily's going to be setting up a really great long pattern. Also, I'm looking at HOOD, Costco, Airbnb, and Roku, and Crocs. I think these patterns are going to set up, and I think they're going to have a really great pattern on the dailies to set up. So after we get this push up and we get this push down, I do believe, and that's what I'm expecting at least, I do believe that these names should be bought. I'd be looking to buy these names on oversold conditions on the daily. All right. When I get back, oh boy, do I have some stories for you. All right. I've been doing this now over 41 years, like I said, and it just amazes me. Actually, I came in today and I was just dumbfounded that just some, very, very good person. And I just felt for him, and bought a bunch of options. Stock ran, 10 points. And it just really just hit me, and I'm watching this in the pre-market and the stock rallied $10 and, had a really, really monstrous gain in it, and he had texted me. He said sold half the position, and I'm like, first of all, the stock ran 10, stock's in a negative trend. And basically the options, right, on the overnight, you lose the K on the premium. And then God forbid the stock goes down, you're going to now have only the K on the option, but you're going to get cabooshed on the option price, right? So obviously what happened, the stock went from 716 and in the name Meta, and it dropped all the way down to like 696. And, and it wasn't pretty. But when you're going to day trade options, for me, I don't like trading options. I mean, stock and futures are my game, but I understand people like to trade options because a lot of these prices are significantly higher and people get more leverage. But if you're going to day trade options, day trade the option. That's the rule, right? To take a position overnight, I can't tell you what to do, but if you got $10 in the name, that to me is astronomical in a day trade. Okay. The second story is so many people I've talked to own PLTR, right? And I'm scratching my head, and I'm like, over the weekend, and some people I came to meet along the way, and I can't give investment advice, right? So I said, if it was me and you own the stock here, in the 70s, 75, 80 range, how are you not taking a $40 profit? I mean, anything can happen. Where do you think it's going to go? That pattern that I showed you earlier on the daily is defying gravity. You have this gap here. It's just floating like a cloud. Where in God's creation do you think it's going to go? Right? So anyway, I just said to myself, listen, I can't tell you what to do. A person came to visit me over the weekend here, and I said, a really good person I know, and I said, if it was me, I'd be out, right? And I think he kicked it out about the 122, 123 range or whatever. And kudos to him and the other people I've talked to. But, it should not be that hard, right? You have a $40 plus, $35, $40 plus gain. I've been around too long. I saw a stock called LA Gear. It was right in front of me when I was on the floor of New York Stock Exchange. And I ended up meeting the owner some years later. I was one of 10 people invited to Robert's birthday in a French restaurant in New York City. And it's a long story, but I can't tell you now. I'll save it for another day. But I was one of 10 people. Robert was sitting here, and I was sitting right next to him, right? And he was the CEO of LA Gear. And he started the company. He was a barber in Boston, and he was cutting hair. And when the movie E.T. came out, he tried to patent anything he could. And he finally got the last patent, E.T. shoelaces. And I believe he told me he made over $1 million on it. And then after the $1 million, he went to all the different countries to try to find the best factories to make a sneaker. And he came up with the company called LA Gear. It was the most craziest stock there was always a monster crowd in LA Gear. 8 to 10, 15 guys. I would see it in my left-hand corner. I was on the floor at post 3 in the New York Stock Exchange. It was right next to me. I think it was post 5 or post 7 or something like that, or 9, right? And I remember watching this crowd. The stock would go 45 to 90, split 2 for 1. 45 to 90, split 2 for 1. 45 to it was the craziest thing. And then eventually LA Gear went kabooshed, right? And then he went over the Sketcher, right? So you have to learn how to take a profit, right? And there's always an opportunity. Every single day we're here, there's always an opportunity, right, to make money, whether it's intraday trading, swing trading, or long-term trading, right? And the reason why I got into doing this is because 2 reasons. One, people always say most day traders fail. That's true. That's true. They lack discipline. They don't know what they're doing. They're trading options. They're just throwing a dart. They don't know what they're doing. So I decided to do this to try to help people, put them on the track, to be able to go straight and to be able to be consistent every single day and learn from me, right? The second reason why I did this is because they say nobody can really call the market, and you got to put your money with mutual funds and managers and just sit there and hold it for the long term. No way. I've never put my money with a manager, and I would never do it, and I don't think anybody out there should do it. I think people should take their money, not pay the fees, and just buy ETFs and aberrations in the market, long and or short, and trade them, right? I had a T-shirt I made up, trade them, right? So for me, that's the reason why I'm doing this, right? And to be able to guide all of you, to educate you, to let you learn what I have, all the 41 plus years in my head of experience and wisdom and knowledge, to be able to help each and every one of you. So these stories that I tell you each and every day, I'm telling you, I could write a book bigger than War and Peace. I haven't even touched the surface. People, good friends of mine, tell me, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. And I probably would write a book, but I don't even know where to begin. I'm working with somebody right now, but it's the time and also the amount of energy I got to put into it, which I don't have a problem with that, but it's just, trying to organize it all. But I tell you these stories at the end here in The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly, because I want you to understand I've seen it, and I'm trying to heed you off from making any mistakes. All right. So these stories resonate with me. And a lot of people tell me, oh my God, you know what? That story changed my life. That story changed my life. And wait till tomorrow and Friday, the two stories I'm going to tell you from when I just started in the industry, right? Great, great, great stories. So with that, thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Again, remember, be consistent. And I'm so excited here to do this live every single day. And join me each and every day here on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning into The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe on YouTube at Trade EZ or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.